All the people, all these MMA fans are going on social media saying America's the butt of the joke to the world. We're a laughing stock. We're this. Oh, then why does everybody want to come here? So many people are complaining about the event at the White House, and it's like, are we fight fans or are we not fight fans? Rigatoni says, as an MMA fan, MMA fans are the worst. Steven says, I've stopped telling people that I like MMA. It seems like when you dig into the culture of MMA and MMA fans, it's like, are they all self-loathing? It's like the opposite of Fight Club. You know, first rule of Fight Club, never talk about Fight Club. Second rule of Fight Club, never talk about the first rule, because then you're going to be talking about Fight Club. It's like, it's the opposite. We're MMA fans. First rule of MMA fan club, talk about it nonstop and make sure all the things you say sound like you hate it. So like MMA fans sound like they dislike MMA even more than non-fans that are just simply indifferent. I remember there was a MMA commentator. His name was either Trent Reinhorn or Trent Reinsmith. I can't remember his name. I think he wrote for the MMA Flunky. I think. But I remember every single article that he would write, and he was an MMA reporter. He wasn't like, I work for CBS, I work for ESPN. It was a MMA outlet. And every article that he wrote was basically like, I hate MMA. MMA is always doing the wrong things. What's up with MMA? And it was like, dude, why don't you go write about basketball? Do you hate MMA? Are you like, is this like an inside job? Are you a double agent? Are you working from the inside out? Are you trying to take down the MMA? Were you sent here by John McCain? Trent Reinhorn was John McCain's final wish. It just doesn't make any sense. How people are talking online. They're showing the renderings on social media, which should get us excited. I remember back in the day, if we would have seen, and I've said it before, it's reminiscent of like a Street Fighter location. We would have got excited about this as kids. Fighting in front of the White House? What are they going to do next? Fight at the Grand Canyon? At least the parts that the government allows you to go into, because they don't want you to see about the Nephilim and whatnot. They don't want you to be able to backtrack and find out about the global flood and stuff like that. There's certain parts that they're not going to give you access to. They're trying to keep you safe. You could go skydiving. You could go bungee jumping. You could go swimming in the Pacific Ocean. You could smoke. You could destroy your body with alcohol. But don't you go in that part of the Grand Canyon. Nah, that's dangerous. We're going to protect you from that. Don't go near that Arctic wall. We're keeping you safe. This is for your own protection. Have you guys heard that before? This is for your own protection. We're doing this to keep you safe. Ooh! I've heard that one before. Why don't we apply this nonsense to other things? We're doing this to keep you safe. This is for your own protection. That's why we don't want you to find out about the giants at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. That's why we don't want you to find out about the global flood. That's why we don't want you to go to the ice wall. But you could go jump out of a plane. You could go full John Denver if you want to. Just stay away from those canyons. Oh, you brought binoculars? Nah, I gotta confiscate those because I'm protecting your eyes. But sir, I thought I just couldn't go down there. I thought I just couldn't go down into the canyon because, nah, give me those binoculars. I gotta protect your eyes too. I gotta protect your eyes. I want you to see something that's gonna traumatize you. I gotta protect these right here. The eyes are the windows to the soul. I gotta protect your eyeballs. Give me those binoculars. I don't want you to see something that might be harmful to you. It's for your own good. It's for your own protection. We're doing this to keep you safe. We've heard it before. Anyway, I like the White House event. Reminds me of one of those end of Rome gladiator times. That's what I'm saying. This is one of the things, not only when we were little kids, but back in the 90s. Imagine Royce Gracie, Ken Shamrock, Tank Abbott, all these dudes. Imagine at the White House, people would have went crazy. They're like, okay, the White House, let's take them to the Grand Canyon. Let's do it at the Statue of Liberty. Just like, it's like Street Fighter. And now people are like, no, this is, what are we doing? Bro, MMA fans, like, don't try to civilize MMA. Don't try to make it sterile and clean. And what do you want? You want to do everything at the Apex? This is what MMA is born and bred for. This is the rough around the edges kind of feel that it should have. We should have these dudes going up and fighting in the redwoods at Yosemite. We should have these dudes. They're finally giving us at least the closest thing that we've ever got to what Fight Island should have been like. You know what? There's a bunch of hypocrites in the MMA community. Bunch of crybabies that are just hypocrites. Everybody wanted to make so much fun of it when it was Fight Island. Everybody was talking about Fight Island. They were hyping it up. They were excited about it. And we all thought it was going to be like Bloodsport. We thought they were going to go out there. They're going to be in their those little things. What are they called? When like Tong Po and like, I know I'm talking about Kickboxer now. And Jean-Claude Van Damme. You know how they had those little underwears, those little chonies that kind of had the flaps? We thought they were going to look like that. They were gonna have a thing where they had like the stick with fire on it. They're gonna have a gong and everything. They're gonna be fighting in the sand. We thought it was gonna be like that. The loser gets thrown into the water. We thought it was gonna be crazy. We thought people were gonna be like, Noxu cow, Noxu cow. And then they do it. It looks like they're in the Apex. It looks like they're fighting in the conference center and the Holiday Inn. It's like, why'd you guys even go? They probably weren't even at Fight Island. It was probably just a trick because Dana White didn't have the rules or whatever at the time because of Gavin Newsom and this and that. You can't fight here. They probably did it. For all we know, they probably did it at the Staples Center or something like that. But then when they cut to the B-roll, they make it look like they're in Abu Dhabi or whatever it was supposed to be. And the whole time they were actually like in California somewhere. Who knows? We have no idea. And everybody made fun of it. There was so many memes. It was the butt of the joke. Like, Fight Island, this is stupid. It looks like they're at the Apex. But now that they're finally going to do something like that, now that they're finally going to go outdoors, now that they're finally going to be at some kind of a landmark where it's like full-on Street Fighter where it looks cool, now people want to complain. Like, what? Should we tease you with like doing Fight Island again, but like this time it'll actually be like Bloodsport? Like Kickboxer, and then are you gonna say yeah, or is it just because of politics? Is it just because it's not my White House? It's not my White House. That's the problem. The White House shouldn't be right or left, right? Am I crazy for saying that? It should be. The White House ain't supposed to be red. It's not supposed to be blue. You know why? Because it's white. It's white. It's not the blue house. It's not the red house. I mean, the best you're going to get is the purple house. I mean, with that line of thinking. But no, it's the White House. And maybe that's why they don't let John Jones fight there. I don't know. I'm not trying to jump on that kind of narrative. I'm not Luke Thomas. I think a lot of, if I'm going to be brutally honest, which I didn't want to get into this part of it, and I won't, I'll mention it, I'll touch on it, and then I'll move on. I think it's a lot of people that don't like who's at the White House. Because now they're feeling like MMA, the sport of MMA and the UFC is so intertwined and intermingled and correlated with the side that they look at as their opponent. Would they feel different about it if it was the Joe Biden White House? Would they feel different about it if the 250 commemoration, would they feel better about it if this event was during like a pride event? I think it became political. I think that's what it is, which is stupid because the White House is not supposed to be this side or that side. It's supposed to be for America. And if you've allowed yourself to think that it's anything other than that, then I don't know what to tell you. Stop being radicalized. If it's that easy for you to be that wishy-washy, that it's either your White House or it's not, depending on who's sitting in there, then you are way too wishy-washy and radicalized and fickle, and you are tossed to and fro with every wind of doctrine way too easy. You're too soft. That's like the kind of person that threatens to move every time there's a new president. And everybody says it's the worst place and it's a disaster. All the people, all these MMA fans are going on social media saying America is the butt of the joke to the world. We're a laughing stock. We're this. Oh, then why does everybody want to come here? We're so pathetic. Everybody laughs at us. They point the finger. We're humiliation. We're then leave. But no, there's two things going on. Number one, you're not going to leave. So shut up. You won't leave. You're not going anywhere. Shut your mouth. Go to sleep so you can wake up and go to work tomorrow. Oh, you probably aren't going to work tomorrow, are you? And number two, why does everyone want to come here then? Oh, because what they're facing in their well, okay, duh. So they want to come here, right? So it's not that bad. Now, I'm not going to get into the fact that it is pretty bad because we still live in a pretty immoral state. But let's talk about MMA.